Hello, hello, YouTube. So, one more react. This time it's Bloons TD6 review from Seth. And I have seen some people play this game. It's that Monke game of the balloons, huh? But I never played myself, and I will probably play because it's a Monkey game, and I am a monkey. I will try to play some monkey game, different games that I find out there. So yeah, the link to the original is on the description. If you can give me a like, comment something, maybe recommend, I don't know, and subscribe, I would be very grateful. Now, let's go.
Where, on unpronounceable street on the first floor. There's only one floor. My name is SsethTzeentach. I'm 27 years old. I believe in taking care of myself in a balanced diet and a rigorous exercise routine. In the morning, if my hands aren't shaking, I'll take 360 milligrams of extended release amphetamine while doing my daily jelq session. I can do 1,000 now. After I start to feel heart palpitations, I go to the vitamin closet for multivitamins.
Drug yourself.
I take 2 gummy dinosaurs, then a gummy fruit pastel
What the
and
fuck?
a single magic bean. Then I chug down 2-gram
Did he buy everything just to make the video? Oh, he has it.
paracetamol to slow the approaching migraine while I prepare the rest of my routine. I always use a painkiller with little or no risk of stomach ulceration because stomach ulcers are incredibly painful and make
I had a ulcer, but it was not on the stomach. It was on the intestine, and it was because of H. pylori. And I shot blood. I shot blood, and I wake up feeling like I wanted to throw up, and then I got on the I got out of my room, and then I feel out. How do you say when you lost? I lost conscious, and then I wake up, and I try to go to the bathroom, and then when I get in the bathroom, I lost the conscience a second time, and then when I wake up sitting on the ground, I shot blood. But I'm okay now. I don't have H. pylori anymore, and the also it's over.
you die. Then 2 tabs of zinc, then omega-3, followed by a final megadose of vitamin D3. There's an idea of a SsethTzeentach, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only an entity, something illusory. And though I can hide my cold gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable, I simply am not there. Hey people, Seth here. Hello, my little dart monkeys. It's been a while. Apologies, I had to take a short break from the hustle because if you only make 2 videos in 6 months, something's not right. And while ADHD medication is very useful to satisfy expectation and fit into the psychopathic mold of society, after 7 years of regular consumption,
What the fuck is this video?
to take a break. Since withdrawal kicked in, the only thing I have energy for is getting out of bed, feeding the colony, and playing Bloons. Bloons Tower Defense 6, written and pronounced as if you were dyslexic, is a homeland defense simulator where you and your
Tower
men
defense,
are the only
okay.
thing that stands
Yeah,
between
I knew
life
that
and the complete
already.
and utter annihilation of monkey civilization. The stakes are high, but the premise might sound absurd. Rubber balloons? Really? How could that possibly be a threat to monkey civilization? I'll tell you, because it's a choking hazard. The respiratory tract of a rhesus macaque is very slim, and if a child inhales enough rubber, they're going to die of
That's
asphyxia.
true. Wait, let me bite my sandwich. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm.
I've never tested this, but I'm just assuming. For any civilization, several generations of high infant mortality, and we're on the brink of extinction. And so, the most primitive form of monkey weaponry emerged, the original, decisive answer to the rubber question. Darts. Dart monkeys could finally pop Bloons from a safe distance. However, they couldn't account for what happened next. You see, for every Bloon you deflate, you get 2 more. That's because they reproduce faster than we can kill. But now, we've introduced natural selection to the Bloon population. Tougher, more resistant fibers.
What the fuck is this?
Natural selection to the
The Aryan model.
Bloon population. Tougher, more resistant fibers, translucent material, higher reproductive capacities, and even limited regeneration of lost tissue start being selected for in the Bloon population, thus beginning the eternal arms race between technology and an all-consuming, rapidly evolving bioweapon. You might think this game is a joke, but this review is a joke. It isn't. It's very much a Crisis just got released on PC in 2007 situation, where all the critique and anger is coming from people who, 1, don't own it, or 2, can't run it, because they don't have the RTX 3080 necessary to even boot up the game on low settings. Like any good game, we begin by starting cheat engine, loading the following cheat table, hooking up the executable, and from there enable editable values get player. Double-click the action value and change it to get player info. It should update with your current values, which you edit by double-clicking. Apply them by changing the action value to set player info. If you don't see anything, tab into a different menu and switch back. Changing the action value to set player info. If you don't see anything, tab
Boomerang Monkey, Dart Monkey, Blue. Ooh, this one looking nice. I had a version of my model Blue. Maybe I should show someday. I have a blue version with the white retro, white. What's the name of the high bar? I forgot.
Tab into a different menu and switch back. This will, very likely, get you banned. However, using every other cheat will not. You can exploit this by earning monkey money, turning on infinite monkey money, and buying anything equal to or below the total sum of monkey money without spending a single dime. Dear Ninja Kiwi, I'm sorry for telling everyone how to bypass your shitty in-game cash shop. I don't do it out of pleasure. I do it out of moral obligation to inconvenience anyone and anything that comes out of New Zealand. To play the game, pick a map, pick a difficulty, and try to finish it. For reference, anything under hard difficulty is meant for children. Are you a child? I hope not. How did you end up here? Did your mother leave you alone with a tablet, assuming that the cold hard expanse of the internet is somehow an appropriate surrogate to parental attention? In which case, I'm incredibly sorry. I'm sure your parents will take full personal accountability for your impending developmental issues. But I digress. As my good friend Mandalore Gaming often says, can we stop discussing children? Hard is the starting baseline difficulty. Think of it as a rite of passage before the game considers you competent enough to stand a chance of winning the actual game. The actual game is Chimps Mode, an acronym which stands for no continues, no hearts lost, no income, no monkey knowledge, no powers, and no selling. Effectively, pay to win is no longer an option, and a single mistake will undo your entire run. It is the truest test of monkey fortitude. Basically, you're training yourself up to handle the worst this game can throw at you without any help. There's many monkeys and many balloons. Different balloons require different monkeys to sufficiently deflate and destroy them. While the most basic and primordial balloon, the red balloon, can be popped by any monkey, the situation quickly becomes more complicated, as most balloons come in layers, including, but not limited to, camo, lead, ceramic, LGBT, each with their own properties, strengths, and weaknesses. They also come in sizes, regular and blimp, also known as Moabs, BFBs, Zongs, and Bads. These initially serve as boss encounters, which, following the Dark Souls Miyazaki school of thought, eventually become regular boss encounters, which, following
easy to understand the moves that are boring, logical story the second.
the Dark Souls Miyazaki school of thought eventually become regular enemies. In general, these are gigantic, gestating balloon females, which, upon popping, release their entire brood on the battlefield. I would say these are generally slow, until round 90, when you encounter your first DDT. After 20 minutes of play, which you're going to lose in 2 seconds. There is a common anecdote on the Bloons TD6 Reddit. Never ask a in 2 seconds.
Let me see.
There is a common anecdote on the Bloons
This is some good art. This is some good art.
D6 Reddit, never ask a woman her age, a man his salary, and Ninja Kiwi how they recorded their Moab popping sound. Let's talk about monkeys.
Serious?
In total, there's 22 different monkeys
Nice.
across 4 different trees: primary, military, magic, and support. Each has
Magic.
across 4
Let me
different
look
trees:
at how the
primary,
monkeys. Primary,
military,
military.
magic,
What? There is a Superman type of monkey. And there is a droid.
and support. Each has their own purpose and place on the battlefield. Dart Monkey is your OG shooter. Boomerang Monkey has curved shots and can switch hands. Bomb Shooter counters lead. Tack Shooter counters everything else. Ice Monkey, Glue Gunner. Nobody knows what they do because nobody picks them. Sniper Monkey has infinite range. Monkey
The icy monkey have a nice look. Sadly, baby's not meta.
Sub bottoms for the Monkey Dom. Monkey Buccaneer upgrades to the entire East India Trade Company. Monkey Ace has nuclear capabilities. Heli Pilot can solo the game. Mortar Monkey is incredibly accurate. Dartling Gunner
helicopter
comes with
was
his own
very
panic
strong.
button. Ninja Monkey counters stealth. Wizard Monkey counters your ability to see. Super Monkey will be discussed at a later time. Alchemist turns lead into gold. Druid turns crops into gold. Banana Farm turns bananas into centralized banking. Monkey Village supports the home front.
banana.
Spike Factory keeps out the homeless. And Engineer Monkey is somehow less popular than the Ice Monkey. In reality, you don't have to know all that. All you need to know is the current meta pick. So you can turn your brain off for half an hour and still scavenge some dopamine for your zoomy receptors. Each monkey comes with 3 different upgrade trees, which are mutually exclusive to each other. You can pursue one tree up to 5 and benefit from 2 levels of another. When we talk strategy, we use the free number nomenclature, which denotes the number of upgrades in each tree in descending order. For example, this is what it looks like when I smack down a 103 Dart Monkey, a 200 Village, and a 301 Alchemist. This is handy to know when somebody starts screaming at you that a 401 Alchemist is not the same as a 402, that you're wasting precious animation frames on something that doesn't benefit you, that you have effectively gimped yourself out of an expensive investment, and instead of playing Bloons, you should instead consider the rope. The Bloons community is nothing if not passionate. On top of that, the rope. The Bloons community is nothing if not
Plasma Monkey Fan Club, remember? Okay, well, Street Economists. What
passionate.
the fuck?
On top of that,
What the
you
fuck
have
is going on?
heroes. There's many to choose from, so choose wisely, because you only get to bring one of them. These
one
include
hero.
Quincy, who
Makes
never
sense.
whiffs, not a single arrow. Sada, my beloved. Adora, who is adorable, and also powered by blood sacrifice, in the same way as a
Super Saiyan
33rd
Monkey.
degree Mason. Benjamin, who stacks the Benjamins and contributes nothing else. Picking him in a multiplayer game is considered a form of griefing at best, and at worst, a hate crime. And of course, Funny Tank Monkey, and many more. So, let's talk about strategy. You're gonna open with Quincy into a 301 Ninja, followed by a 200 Alchemist. Upgrade Alchemist to 301. Ninja to
What the-
402. Smack down a 200 Monkey Village.
What the
Then
fuck?
place your 320 Heli Pilot Alchemist to 401. Heli to 420. Village to 30. And finally, finish your 520 Heli Pilot. There, that's your current meta pick. Clears everything from hard to chimps with minimal thinking. But who cares? Secondly, it's not enough to win advanced and expert level maps, and it's certainly not enough to beat boss events. There's 2 bosses, and they rotate every week: Bloonarius, the Inflator, and the Lich. I say this unironically. I've seen a lot of erotic illustrations of Bloonarius, porn, if you will, and it makes me act up. Boss events are interesting. On the one hand, yes, you can pay to win. On the other hand, it's not going to save you, because, for reference, the last round of Chimps, round 100, features a single BAD. This has 28,000 HP. Tier 5 Bloonarius spawns around 120 with 3 million,
Holy
and
shit.
if it's Elite Bloonarius, 40 million. So how do we overcome numbers that big? Simple. We finance the war with money we don't have. We need free bits of monkey knowledge from a support tree. Bigger deals, backroom deals, bank deposits. Naturally, we take Benjamin for increased stacking of Benjamins. Then you convert your first monkey farm into a 240, giving us access to IMF loans. IMF, standing for the International Monkey Fund. Take the loan, deposit twice, wait a single round, collect interest, cash out, and repeat. Use borrowed money to make make more money, to make more banks, to take more loans, to borrow more money.
What
Then
the fuck?
upgrade your bank to 250, or Monkenomics, with the descriptor for when
Monkenomics.
you're too big to fail, thus creating the Federal Reserve. And now we print money directly out of thin air. Inflation?
Who
Don't
gives
worry
a
about
fuck?
it. Take more loans, print more money. Get a 500 nuclear sub so we can borrow, print, and spend even faster. But what exactly are we spending towards? We're spending towards a very expensive sacrifice. Because
Ooh,
ultimately,
the
there's
super-
only one way to win war.
the super
Blood.
monkey.
A lot of blood.
What
Money
the-
is merely the vehicle to convince you. We just need you to die. And so, fittingly, the strongest tower in the game requires a mountain of
What the
sacrifice for you
fuck?
to die. And so, fittingly, the strongest tower in the game requires
The temple demands sacrifice. I never thought it would be this.
a mountain of sacrifice, consuming everything and everyone around it twice, because there's two upgrades. The true Sun God is the second strongest tower in the game. If you're currently seeing this, it means I fucked up and I have to reset. The vengeful true Sun God is the strongest tower in the game.
Oh.
Also, the leading cause of aneurysms each time I miss a single step in this 35-page wiki article. But he is worth the effort. He can solo the entire
Interesting.
boss. On normal. On elite difficulty, however, you have to fill every square pixel of your screen with monkeys, sacrifice them all, only to receive
Holy
a low-degree
shit.
paragon and quit the game very calmly. Confused? Then I invite you to read the 39-page
What the
wiki article.
Bro, it's the Monke game, and it's going on, and it's getting bigger, bigger, and bigger, and the calculus. What the fuck is going on?
Consult this simple mathematical formula for power calculation and come back just as confused. Paragons are tier 6 monkeys. However, their strength is determined by their degree, which is a measure of equality and quantity of sacrifices given. There's 4 in total. Under optimal conditions, to create all 4, we have to put about 200 monkeys into body bags, but the sacrifice is well justified. It's pretty much
Holy
the only way you can
shit.
possibly clear a
Can't
boss
see
run
shit.
on elite difficulty. There's many more modes in this game. Odysseys, which are monkey campaigns. Races, which are going to get me banned someday. Custom challenges, which have to be played yourself after making them to ensure that it's actually possible to beat. Instead, I use Cheat Engine to make maps that are physically impossible to finish and post them online for unsuspecting victims. And of course, multiplayer,
Wait, my Monkey Wall Street.
which looks a little like this.
What the
Where
fuck?
the blades coming from? Who's doing that?
Multiplayer is
Sounds
the
fun,
shit.
sounds
Arguably,
fun.
it's harder than single player because you all share the same income. This leads to the inevitable situation where everybody picks Benjamin, buys a turn 12 banana farm, and we lose the game. It's a lot of fun. It's incredibly fun, interactive, and dynamic when one of your friends pops down a sun temple right next to your farm,
The sun, okay.
all of
Looks
your
nice.
income.
Watch this.
Oh!
Why'd everything go
fuck?
by?
What? Did I clear the whole map? What the fuck?
In the industry, this is known as a skill issue. To answer a question I've been hearing, what is Bloons Tower Defense 6? It is when you can physically no longer see what you're doing. When the screen is filled with so much shit that all you're left with
Can't
is
see
an
shit.
assault of flashing lights and popping. That's what Bloons TD6 is all about. It's amazing.
Nice.
Also, how much you can handle on screen, great benchmark for your hardware. Because you'll get somebody talking shit about how great their processor is, just because Rakesh at the Dell store told them so. And suddenly, they drop from the game, being real quiet ever since. I do, however, have some critique. I've heard so many pops that I've developed tinnitus. I've listened to the soundtrack for so long that if I hear it alone, in isolation, my brain fills in the gaps and creates audible popping. But I think that's a fair price to pay.
He's going
New
schizo.
Zealand company jacks up the in-game price of the Australian flag. Very based. Unfortunately, this game does run like ass sometimes. It doesn't like being left in the background, and it doesn't close properly for me. So I made a little batch file to kill the process. I recommend you do the same. It does
Sounds
save progress on
what we
maps,
did.
so usually you
Difficult
don't lose anything. I think anybody
stream
can
this
enjoy
game,
Bloons
eh?
TD6. I saw one of the top reviews with some guy saying it helped him get over his divorce. If it could help him, maybe it can help you.
Monkeys
Before you cast it
together
off as a
is
joke joke and an
Let's go,
unserious
boys.
suggestion. Consider the possibility that you live in a tyrannical society
Return
where at any
to
time you can be
Monke.
muzzled, beaten, and put into captivity until you die. Considering these things, maybe it's not a joke. Maybe you're the clown, and the punchline is your entire existence. In summary, Bloons TD6, 10 out of 10. Very recommended. Very fun. The prices, very affordable. If you can't, I recommend gaslighting family members into giving you money, blackmailing relatives, or petty crime. Remember, always under 1,000. That's the threshold for felonies. Gotta keep that record squeaky clean. Or, as I've heard it said, get that thong out yo boosie.
What the
Playa.
fuck?
As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. This is the end of good videos. Here on out, there are no come, so stay tuned. This is the end.
This is mega evident implication that at some point in time I considered my video funny to be good and did not do not.
End of good videos. Here on out, there are
In
no
the
good
feet,
videos.
nice.
I'm tired of living in fear of some commenter coming at me saying, Seth, you actually made a factual error. Correct. I did. And I'll do it again. Without the muzzle of quality control, I can flow more freely, like a sewage
True.
drain. As always, a warm thanks to the many members of a Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
What the fuck? Orangutan fighting. What? What the fuck is Cambodia doing, man? The orangutan medic. Now he's out of farming. What the? Ai, ai, ai. Oh, one more. Ah. Motherfucker just sit there.
Sorry you got twisted up in this scene.
What the fuck
From
was
where you're
this
kneeling
ending?
must seem like an 18-carat run of bad luck. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
Well, triple aqui. The game looks interesting, but I don't know if I would stream it. Sounds complicated. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, comment, all that shit, you know. Bye bye.